Actually, that's very important because news also has it that some parents have actually died as a result of the shock they got from this. The other time we asked the government agent what the government is truly doing in terms of psychological trauma center for the parents and relatives of these people. And you say we should actually move in and see what we can do.
Yeah, we should move in right now because, like I said, I'm a psychologist and psychotherapist, and we have a team that will work like that. Coaches and because you see, these girls, even when they come, they need therapy, behavioral therapy, because they've been taken away from their comfort zone, wherever they are, and they've been plunged into another situation. A lot of them, you see, there are three things that happen when you encounter danger. You either fight, you either freeze, or you take flight. The ones that took flight, jumped out of the lorry, they just walked into that mode of flight, and they didn't care what happened, whether they were going to break their boat. They were programmed like that. The ones that didn't froze, there are three ways you react to danger. You understand? They froze, and some will fight. Those ones that will fight, it will be at the camp, and you'll find that those ones are going to be badly dealt with. It's not because they are stubborn, but they're in that mode. So we say that, look, we need to bring, I hear things that, luckily that the governor says he's going to have a trauma center and puts 153 million naira or something there. And I said to myself, oh my God, this thing should not be turned. They must look for the right people. It doesn't necessarily have to be from that part of the country. We are all one. So get them together, and it is important. I don't quite like the fact that when they bring those girls out, even the ones that jumped off, they're in the limelight. It is not right. You must take them out of the limelight. Even if, when the girls come, not if, when the girls come, immediately they should not try to please the populace to show them up. They must be taken out of that conflict zone and brought out. So that trauma center must not be in that conflict area. It must be out of the conflict area, and it should start even now, so that even the parents of the children, the parents that are expectant, they must begin to work on them because they're going through a lot.
So one would ask, what next, really? Because it would seem that the protests have finally gotten to, when I say the final line of authority, the presidency. Initially, we saw them march to the National Assembly. They were received by the Speaker of the House of Reps and the President of the Senate, who in turn promised to hold meetings with the presidency. And now we're seeing them marching to the presidency. They've not been received by the president, but at least they've been met by a delegation.
Exactly.
Do you think that they would still need to see the president, or?
I don't think
what do you think?
Personally, I don't think that there is a need to see the president, because the president knows. And remember, it's not just Abuja, it's everywhere. In Lagos, there's a continuous, there are continuous things happening every day. All over the world, people are doing things nearly every day to put this on the burner. I want to believe that they already know what is happening. The powers that be, they know what is happening. But because it's a covert operation, they need to put certain things into place. Because remember, they have to think of collateral damage too as well. If these girls are with Boko Haram, they have to be careful how they move in, because it's very easy to say bomb out Sambisa, bomb out all the cave lines, bomb out all those areas. But if they do that, we, the same people too, will turn around and say that the government did not take certain things into consideration. So I always say that the president and the government is between the devil and the deep blue sea. But I believe that something is happening. I believe so, because the foreigners that have come in have not just come in for a joke. The quiet now is a quiet of strategies being put in place. And so I'm of the opinion that we should just wait a little bit. And if we do not hear or see anything happening, then we move forth move forward again. Meanwhile, putting a lot of things into place. Education. What are we going to do about the girls if they come back? What are we going to do about those who are now afraid to even go to school? Should we begin to engage the Ministry of Education to put alternate learning schools around? Should we call the UN to begin to tell us how to put those satellite villages around out of the conflict zone? Should we begin to put rehab? Because what about the ones on ground? A lot of them have taken a lot of drugs. They are drug addicts. Those boys, little boys. That's why it's so easy to conscript them. What are we doing about empowerment? Serious empowerment. I read the other day that Dangote now is ready to pump money into certain things to alleviate poverty and to empower the youths. Yes, we should begin to look at all of that, because when you don't keep the youths occupied, they are fodder for sects to come in and take them and feed them every day and give them a bit of this thing to smoke and drink, and that's it. So beyond the now, we must go a little bit forward and think about how we are going to rehabilitate, restore what is going on in the northern part of our country.
You know, one of the questions that was asked by the protesters to the presidency is they should tell us whether there was a kidnap or not. Someone wonders, wait a minute, does that mean that they're questioning whether it happened or not?
Well, I guess it's because initially they had said that there was no kidnap, you understand?
38 days after. After they left the government of Benin, and then this and that.
I think everybody knows that there was a kidnap. What it was all about, whether missing, whether kidnapped, whether abducted, whether conspiracy, whatever, we're just saying as humanitarians that we know that girls have been lost. All those parents, though, are not actors at all. They're real, for real. The numbers we don't know, but for sure, girls were kidnapped.
Well, I wonder this now, because all of those questions, yes, the presidency has taken note of those. And then, just as he asked, what next now? Because if they don't wait, as you suggested, if maybe day after tomorrow, even today, they come up with another protest, isn't there that fear that this message might be lost?
Yeah, I for once, myself and a group of people, you know, we believe that the protests have gone on for long enough. We started it and then it's been going on, and I must commend Abuja group. In fact, it takes a lot for them to be coming up, and Madam Due Process, I know they've bandied a lot of things about it being politicized and everything. Yes, there is a measure of, you know, some people who came out and we don't really know what their intentions are. And in everything that happens, some people will try to go away with it. But I do know that Madam Due Process came out, you know, on her own, and she's been there every day. There's no hidden agenda where some people are concerned. I don't know her personally, I've met her, but I have seen as a psychologist the genuineness of quite a few people at the forefront. If some people have now joined to begin to try to work their way and talk about it being APC, PDP and everything, it's normal. You'll always find people who will find something negative to say.
All right, I want to thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very
Laila
much.
St. Mathew Daniel is founder of CTS Generation.
Axe Generation, ACTS.
Oh, okay, I see
Axe
that.
Generation, yes,
Okay.
gender-based organizing, yes.
All right, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be back after this. Please join us again.